Man, let me tell you what. I said this in my live vlog last night. I mean, everybody has good days. Everybody has great days. And then you have those days where not only do you accomplish everything you set out to do and wanted to do and accomplish those things, but they also widely exceed your expectations. You just gotta take a minute to ask yourself, how did I get this lucky? Like, really? How did I get this lucky? Like, how did I do that? That's insane. I mean, listen, I will never, ever say my life is perfect. I will never say that, ever. In fact, I dare say reality likes to show up and remind me of that at times. But that's okay, because we all need that. And I am no exception to that. But, man, honestly, the only thing I could even find in terms of what my low was something that happened during one of the things I went to yesterday, but I'll get to that later. But my high was like everything else. I mean, I checked off 3 more items off my 2025 bucket list, which I will go over, as well as add another check mark to another item I've done, which is insane. And my act of kindness was at one of the events I went to. Well, I know I held the door for someone yesterday. I know I did that. But I also gave some Mother's Day gifts to, it was not only one person, but that one person knows the other person the gift was for. So, yeah. Gave away a couple Mother's Day gifts. So where do I start with this? As I'm sure some of you guys saw in the short I posted on YouTube, I jumped into Seneca Lake. For the first time in my entire life. Think about this one. I'm 35 years, 4 months, and 3 days. That is how old I was when I jumped into Seneca Lake for the first time. I mean, I always grew up at Cuca Lake, so, you know, you jump in one body of water, you can make the argument that you've jumped in them all, right? But Seneca Lake, while known for being the biggest of the Finger Lakes in terms of both length and width, as well as being the deepest of the Finger Lakes, it's also notorious for being extremely cold. Like, I can't, seriously, anytime I get into a conversation with anyone about Seneca Lake, one of the first things they always bring up is how cold the water is. Like, even in the dog days of summer, like very late July, early August, when the weather is about probably the hottest you get during the summer, the water's still like 50 degrees. That's how cold Seneca Lake is. And I'm guessing I jumped in water that was colder yesterday. If you're wondering why I did this, back in 2019, I did the polar bear plunge at the Swits up on Cuca Lake. It was the very last one they did before the pandemic hit. In 2022, they brought it back. Unfortunately, every time they had it, it was always at the very end of April, and I always wind up working on that Saturday, so I can't do it. So and I knew about the polar bear plunge they had at the Tiki Bar at Seneca Lake. I knew about that, but you know what? I can't for the life of me think of, I can sort of think of why I wanted to do it. Because A, I had never been in Seneca Lake before. Well, I've been to Seneca Lake. I've been to the harbor. I've been to Grist Iron, which I'm going today for Cheese Fest. I'm so excited for that. You know, I've been to Seneca Lake many times. But I've never been in the water. So this really was a brand new experience for me. But also, it was 6 years up to that point since I did a polar bear plunge. Like, I don't know if I still got it, you know? I mean, what's the big deal? You just jump in cold water and you get out. Well, true, but you'd be surprised how many things have to go in to not having anything bad happen. And nothing bad happened, thankfully, throughout this whole experience. I mentioned earlier that there's one thing that does constitute my low. It's the fact that we were supposed to start at 1. It was actually almost 2 o'clock when we started, simply because the fire department took forever to show up. I mean, listen, we're jumping in very, very, very cold water. You know, I mean, you know what? I don't think they ever said how cold the water was. I mean, someone said it might be somewhere in the 40s, which the coldest I've done is 39, so not that big of a deal for me. Not to mention, over the last 2 weeks, I was taking cold showers. So I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. But there's a reason why I have the fire department there, to make sure everybody's safe. Here's the thing, though. Even though I know what I gotta do, and even though I know what my plan of attack is with jumping into Seneca Lake, I still get, I don't want to say anxious, because I wouldn't say I was, like, freaking out. But the longer they took to get things started, the more I'm like, look, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, get your shit together, please. Please. Like, let's do this. And seriously, I really was on the cusp of leaving. I mean, wouldn't be that big of a deal. I mean, I didn't need to pay. They make a donation to the fire department because it's for benefiting the fire department. Which you think for an event that's for them, you think the fire department would have showed up like much earlier. That's the way it is, I guess. So, I mean, there really isn't much I mean, if you look at the short on YouTube and on Facebook, what you see is pretty much what it was. You know, they announced my name. I was the second person to go. Actually, before I get into that, I actually met some there was like these 2 women that were best friends, and this one girl who was visiting from New Jersey. And the 4 of us were the first. The girl visiting from New Jersey was first. I was second, and the 2 best friends were third and fourth. And it was just, I mean, they were some of the nicest people I ever met. I'd say I hope they're doing well at the moment. Anyway, so, you know, they call my name, start walking over to the dock. You know, the guy from Wink 106 asked me some questions. And, I mean, if you watch the video, again, what you see is what you get. You know, I literally walked right in to walk to the end of the dock and jump right in. I mean, in a perfect world, I would have been able to do a running start into the water, but as you probably could tell in the YouTube short, it was raining on and off, as well as the air being cold because of it. And listen, yeah, something can go wrong if I jump in the water, but something is also likely to go wrong if I run on a wet dock. So, had to walk in the old-fashioned way. If any of you ever do something like this, some words of advice I have: while you're jumping in the air, as you're heading to the water, try making a turn facing behind you. Because you want to get to that ladder. You definitely want to get to that ladder as soon as you can. Seriously, The person who was filming me, it was the person who went fourth among the four of us. I mean, there were more swimmers than the four of us. I'm just talking about the first four people that went, including me. She kind of did it wrong, where she kind of had to do everything in one take. But then again, I mean, that's also on me. I could have explained that part. Anyway, I don't think you could have counted to 15 from the minute I got in the water and I got out. I really wasn't in the water for that long. But that's fine. I mean, listen, as long as my entire body literally jumped into the water, my body was completely submerged, I was fine. Here was a weird thing, though. Like, I want to say it was probably my sternocleidomastoid muscle that started, like, tensing up a little bit, almost like a cramp. I mean, it wasn't debilitating, obviously, and between that and how cold the water was, on top of the fact that the air itself was cold, that might be the closest in years that my breath might have literally been taken away from me. I mean, I made it look easy. I mean, again, take cold showers for 2 weeks. Yeah, you're going to make it look easy. But that one thing, like that muscle tensing thing that happened, that was definitely something I wasn't expecting at all. And it almost got me a little bit, in terms of mentally. I mean, I still got out of the water pretty safe and sound, walked to the end of the dock, watched my other two friends that I met jump in, and then after that second person went in, I immediately went to the hot shower they have. That was probably the first hot shower I took in like 2 weeks. And it felt really good. You know, I mean, it's on the internet, on Facebook. I put the video on like Tumblr, well, the YouTube videos on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as on YouTube itself, you know. Now, forever and ever, there's proof that I have actually jumped in Seneca Lake. And it's going to be there forever. So, I've got nothing to hide there. And here's the thing. My date could have ended right then and there. But it didn't. So after I went to Seneca Lake, I came right back here, went to church, and then I went to Illegal Tap House to watch the Derby. I almost forgot the Kentucky Derby was yesterday. I mean, yeah, it's the Kentucky. I mean, listen, let's be real here. The Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont are the only 4 horse races I'm ever really going to care about. But there really is something to be said about watching something as prestigious as the Derby. Actually, that reminds me. Who won? Because here's the thing. Like, there was like kind of a photo finish type thing. I thought Sovereignty at first won. Hold on. Kentucky Derby 2025. Who won? Sovereignty. Okay, yeah. Sovereignty. Sovereignty was the unofficial winner. I literally just saw that Sovereignty just won. I mean, on the TV it said that Sovereignty was the unofficial winner, which, I mean, that's great, congratulations, but here's something I don't think anyone ever expected. Like, okay, I wouldn't expect everybody to know this, but I mentioned the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont. Winning all 3 races, that's called the Triple Crown. And one of the greatest horses to ever do that was a horse that went by Secretariat. Every single horse that raced in this Derby, to some capacity, was a descendant of Secretariat. That's pretty great. In fact, let me look up. And here's the thing. People think, oh, well, you think it's pretty easy. It's not easy to win the Triple Crown. In fact, hold on. Triple Crown winners. Okay, there have been Hold on. Okay, so there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. darn it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Kentucky Derby winners that were Triple Crown winners, 13 Triple Crown winners. Of the 151 years that at least the Kentucky Derby's been going on, only 13 horses have ever won the Triple Crown. I mentioned Secretariat earlier. Secretariat won 1973. The last person to ever do it was Justify in 2018. And before that was American Pharoah. I actually remember where I was when I saw American Pharoah do it. Win the Triple Crown, that is. Funny enough, I was sitting next to my grandfather, who's no longer here. We were there for my cousin's high school graduation. Rest in power, Bobo. I remember that to this day. And come to think of it, it's been 10 years since American Pharoah did it. That's crazy. I gotta see the Derby, and, is Sovereignty gonna win the Triple Crown? Only time will tell. But, at least for me, but you know what? The fact that now all eyes are on Sovereignty to try and win the Triple Crown, do I think Sovereignty will do it? Probably not. But at least it'll make for interesting television. And, yeah, there's nothing wrong with making television interesting, if done correctly. And honestly, these horse races always do a good job making things interesting, so we're good. And I can't talk about last night without talking about, for the 5th time in 2025, I saw Blue-Eyed Soul. I'm literally on pace to seeing Blue-Eyed Soul once a month this year. That's insane, man. That's awesome. And, Blue-Eyed Soul killed it. They were awesome. It was great. If you've never listened to Blue-Eyed Soul or been to a Blue-Eyed Soul concert or show, you should watch them. They really are a lot of fun. To the members of Blue-Eyed Soul, thank you for the phenomenal show. It was a lot of fun. You got everybody singing and dancing. Oh, man, it was great. Love it. And also, when I was at Illegal Tap House, I got myself the Bickles, which are the pickled banana peppers, but they're fried. They were really good. And I also got a miso ginger noodle bowl, which was something I always wanted to try. It was really good, too. It was ridiculously good, man. I got mine with shrimp. So good. Illegal Tap House makes good food, man. Seriously. I know with a tap house, you think, it's beer, but trust me, they make really good food. The pizza there is good. The wings there are good. They make pork bites, which is essentially pork belly bites, which is really good. They don't have soup on the menu that I saw, but their French onion soup, top 5 French onion soups I've ever had. The miso ginger noodle ball I just mentioned, that was really good. The Bickles. Yeah, man, Illegal Tap House does really good food. Seriously. If you want something to eat and have a good time, go there. But that was the extent of my day, man. It was awesome. Honestly, yesterday totally one of my list of the best days of 2025. And today's going to be on there too, I can tell you right now, because I'm going to Cheese Fest at Grist Iron, which I'm really excited for. Yeah, it'll be the second time in 24 hours I've been back to Seneca Lake. How crazy is that? But, man, after the day I've had yesterday, it's going to be fairly hard to top it. I really think it's going to be fairly hard to top. I really think so. I didn't even get into the fact that today's May 4th. May the 4th be with you all. Happy Star Wars Day. It's Star Wars Day, man. I mean, man. This weekend's just been so, like, okay. May 1st, I saw Thunderbolts. Really wasn't expecting, but, that was great. Friday, saw Blue Eyed Soul over Patrick's. Was not expecting that. Like, seriously, between the last 3 days and today, not to mention Cinco de Mayo is tomorrow, like, I might actually make it to my original goal of 73 really great days in 2025. And I wouldn't even be halfway through the year yet. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I mean, there's still much to go over and do. Again, the month of May really only has just gotten started. But man, it's probably off to the best start you could ask for. I can't wait for Cheese Fest today. I can't wait for everything else that's coming up. Not to mention, I'm going to be heading to church this morning, and I do believe a lot of children are having their first Holy Communion today. That's awesome. And funny enough, I still remember when I had my first Holy Communion. In fact, I'm going to be going to the church where I first had it. Good old St. Mary Mother, or SMOM, as the real ones call it. I hope you all like this video. If you like this, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow on social media. As always, I'm going to home this video for all you guys who watch. Enjoy for today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Happy Sunday, everyone. And remember, if you guys want to talk to me, always be here to let me know what's bad. Take care. Make good choices. 607 all day, baby. May the 4th be with you all. Have a nice day.